Welcome to the Enhancement Talent Podcast.
Any man with two hands has a fighting chance.
You're only half the man that I am, and I have half the brain that you do.
What? You are a sniveling little suck-up sellout full of suffering succotash, son.
What? I'm not ready for you. Give me a hell yeah.
We are back and better than ever. Welcome everyone to the Enhancement Talent Podcast, wherever you may be and however you may be listening. We appreciate you stopping by. I am your host, Brock Lesnar, and I am joined by the driving, rage-induced, tired, what other adjectives?
There's so many.
All of that and more. Chris Kirby.
Yay, me.
We have made it. We are on the road home on this lovely Monday afternoon. Had a whole weekend of resting and relaxation, and a Sunday night that lasted about 12 hours for us, 13 hours. We got to the stadium around noon 30, and they kept us there until 1 o'clock.
It was, about 12:40 when the last match ended?
Yep. It was surprisingly easy to get out of the parking lot and onto the road.
It really was. I was surprised. I figured it'd take us an hour to get out of there, but it didn't.
Yeah. So, in case you were not sure, this is your Enhancement Talent Extra review for WrestleMania 35, live from MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. We were, of course, there live. Our first WrestleMania. Only the third time I've ever even been to a live event.
Only my fourth, but it's my second pay-per-view.
Yeah, so. And we're recording this in the car. You'll probably hear the GPS. I don't know if we want to mute that or not. If you need to hear it.
It comes in handy.
Yeah, so
it's not that loud.
If you hear the GPS, cars, whatever else, we apologize.
We don't have some chick locked up in here. She's in the GPS.
Yes. It's just her job.
It's just funny. You said wherever you may be, however you may be listening. And here we are, in the middle of 95 South.
Yep. So, I guess we'll just get right into the match by match. If you don't want to have anything else to say about anything beforehand.
I will say, if you get the opportunity to see WrestleMania, do it.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
Yeah, we definitely had a blast of a time.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, I got, burgers, fries, and a drink, and a souvenir cup for $26.
Yeah.
$30 for that blanket that you used.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. But that is stadium prices at its finest.
$40 for parking. What is that crap?
Yeah, you were surprised by that.
I mean, I was thinking 20. That's about double what I was thinking it would be.
I mean, it was... When I went to the Steelers game in Pittsburgh, it was... A lot of them were more expensive than $40.
Gosh.
The highest I saw was $80.
Really?
Yeah. So,
man.
Parking for these events is expensive.
Yeah.
As is everything else. I believe they actually had a breathing tax.
Well, you get a 3-ounce bottle of water for, $3?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk about the water situation later.
Oh, God, do we have to?
I even have it in my notes.
Oh, God.
So we'll get there.
Okay.
All right, so we kicked off the pre-show at 5 o'clock. First match, probably around 5:30.
Yeah.
We happened to be in the crowd when Mike Kanellis came into the crowd. And I don't think either of us recognized him.
Nope.
And he was just in the crowd, just asking people who the greatest cruiserweight is.
Yeah.
And everyone's just like, you are. And I just was like, Neville. Yeah, so we kicked off with the Buddy Murphy title defense against Tony Nese. That was a fine match to kick things off. They did a lot of stuff, and Tony Nese won.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know either one of these. I know I always choose Buddy Murphy to win.
Yep.
And he's never let me down till now.
I wonder if they'll be moving Buddy Murphy to a main roster now.
The review I read from CBS Sports said that the reason he lost is probably due to a call-up.
Yeah, it seems like it's probably time, but I don't have much else to say about that. It was a fine way to open the pre-show.
Yeah, I mean, not even half the people were in the stadium yet, so it was still kind of quiet, but it was a good match.
After that, we got the Women's Battle Royal, the Women's WrestleMania Battle Royal, and we had the return of Ember Moon in this match to do absolutely nothing.
Well, she did, 2 or 3...
I think she hit 1 Eclipse.
No, she hit 2, I know of. Maybe.
Okay,
3.
maybe.
Hey, we got a toll coming up.
Oh. Alright, well, we got a toll coming up. We'll keep rolling, though.
Keep it rolling. Who cares? They're on the road with us.
Yeah, the toll person can say hi. So, strangely, this Battle Royal seemingly had Sarah Logan win. As, was it Asuka she dumped out at the end, or was it someone else?
I believe it was Asuka.
So, or maybe Asuka was earlier. I can't even remember. But either way, Sarah Logan seems to have had the win, but in comes Carmella from outside the ring back in, and she waves to Sarah Logan and eventually eliminates her and gets the win. So Carmella wins the pointless battle royal.
It's not pointless. They got a uterus cup.
Yes, they got a trophy that they don't get to keep.
Would you want to keep that thing?
Nah, no.
Okay, then.
Yeah. So, it was strange that Carmella won. There was no Lacey Evans either, which was both of our picks to win. Asuka did not get the win, which I figured was the obvious choice. Just really out of nowhere to have Carmella win.
But it means nothing, so, I mean, really, who cares?
I didn't care. It's just nothing. I would have rather someone else won. I would have rather Ember Moon won. I would have rather Sonya Deville won. I would have rather Lacey Evans won. Just, like, we've been there with Carmella.
Yeah.
We've already had the Carmella push.
But it's not really a push just because she won a useless battle royal.
Yeah, but if you actually use that battle royal to try to elevate people,
which they do with Andre the Giant,
they try to sometimes. Not very successfully, but yeah. So, strange ending, but it was a battle royal. It was an average run-of-the-mill battle royal. We had Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder against the Revival for the tag team titles. This was seemingly bumped to the pre-show. I don't know when that was made official or if it was just at the moment. Yeah,
I don't know, because I chose it to open the show. The main show.
No, you chose AJ and Randy.
Oh, that's right. I chose AJ and Randy.
Yeah. So, the whole story, Kurt Hawkins had lost 269 straight matches leading up to this moment, and this was fun. Zack Ryder got worked over for most of the match. Kurt Hawkins eventually gets the hot tag, and he eventually gets the roll-up victory, and Kurt Hawkins breaks his losing streak and wins the tag team titles for himself and Zack Ryder.
Little shocking. I think most people were shocked.
Yeah, I mean, we both picked Hawkins and Ryder. My only complaint about this is that this match didn't have any proper build-up to it at all. It would have been cool if Kurt's breaking the streak had been built up to over the past month leading into WrestleMania. And you can even go as far back as when Hawkins was doing the whole referee thing. He kind of started a feud with the Revival, and then Ryder came in to save him from the Revival. But then they just dropped that, and the Revival focused on Ricochet and Aleister Black and all the other teams, while Hawkins and Ryder weren't even on TV.
Yeah.
Like, they could have really built to this match, and just the fact that Hawkins and Ryder have not won a match, and they get the match at WrestleMania, I would have rather at least done some sort of segment where they goad them into defending the titles against them, and the Revival think it's an easy win, so they accept, and then that leads into this. But nonetheless, it's WWE, so you just get it's the destination that matters for WWE.
Yeah.
They don't really care about the journey.
No, but we do as fans. We want to see it.
Yeah, that progression week to week is always.
Otherwise, it makes no sense. Well, here's a title match and they win. Well, there's no build-up. There's no story.
Exactly.
Makes no sense. But I'm happy they won.
Yeah, I was happy to see them win.
And, I mean, come on. Revival hasn't won a match very well. They've won, what, a couple matches?
Yeah, they've won every match that the titles are on the line, but they've lost every other one.
Yeah, they only win when the titles are up for the grabs.
We had the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal next. During the beginning of this, we got a few entrances, and I'm not sure what they played on the network, but to us in the live audience, we only saw Jeff Hardy's music on a loop for 10 minutes.
Pretty much, yeah. It was close to 10 minutes.
And I don't know who all got entrances. The Hardys,
the Hardy,
Braun Strowman, and then the SNL guys.
The Dorks.
Yeah, and so brilliantly, though, Colin Jost came out in a Browns Odell Beckham jersey, which, for those who are not sports fans, the New York Giants star receiver was traded to the Browns this offseason. So they had the former hometown guy jersey, but in the wrong team.
Yeah.
So, cool stuff. Yeah, so Braun Strowman, eventually it comes down to Braun and just the SNL guys who had been hiding under the ring for the entirety of the match.
Yeah, as soon as the bell rang, they hid.
Yeah, and Michael Che had the bright idea of trying to eliminate himself, but Braun caught him and gave him a good punch in the face to knock him over to the outside.
Which, I mean, you gotta admit, though, that's kind of smart to just throw yourself out.
Yeah, he tried.
Yeah. I mean, give him credit for that.
I think that was what Pete Rose tried to do.
I think so.
But Colin Jost went about this differently. He hired a therapist and tried to get things worked out without violence between the two.
Yeah. $4.
So, of course, Braun beat the hell out of the therapist. If you've been watching wrestling for any period of time, you would know that the therapist is going to get his ass kicked.
Oh, yeah.
And he actually beat up the therapist more than he did Colin Jost.
Which was a little surprising. Because he didn't really do anything to Colin.
Yeah, we're in a tunnel now, so we'll see how that sounds on audio. But after the therapist gets beat up, Braun lifts up Colin for a power slam, but he instead throws him over the top rope, and conveniently everyone who had been eliminated is there to catch him.
Yeah, like the last 4 or 5 wrestlers that were thrown over are still there.
Yeah. So, Colin got off easy. I would have liked if Braun brutalized him a bit more. At least got a power slam in or something.
That's what I thought he was going to do when he picked him up.
Yeah. Instead, just over the top rope, have some people there to catch you at nothing hard. Would have liked it a bit more physicality there.
Yeah.
And that was the last match on the pre-show, and we get to the main show, which starts off with Alexa Bliss coming out. And she states right away that she is in full control of tonight, and everything is in the palm of her hands. You know, like Bray Wyatt, she's got the whole world in her hands. And she says that she can make a WrestleMania moment happen with a snap of the fingers. And she does the snap, and Real American hits.
Yeah.
And Hulk Hogan comes out. And this was certainly a WrestleMania moment.
Yeah. I've never seen Hogan live. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, so Hogan comes out. He does his whole Hogan shtick. And he then jokingly calls it the Pontiac Silverdome, only to still mess up and call the stadium the MetLife Center.
Yeah.
And after that, you know, he poses with Bliss. They do all that stuff, and that's about it. And until Paul Heyman storms to the ring.
Yeah, while they're still out there.
Yeah, and while Hogan's music is still playing, and while everything's going on. So Paul Heyman's new entrance theme is Real American, I guess. I did find him storming to the ring with that music playing kind of funny.
Yeah.
And so Paul Heyman is quite upset and says that if Brock isn't going to go on last, then we don't want to be here any longer than we have to be. So we're starting off with the Rollins versus Lesnar match.
And that threw all 82,000+ people for a frenzy.
Yeah. No, I don't think anyone predicted that this match would open the show.
No, not at all. Who would have?
I don't know how you would have possibly thought of this.
Why would you think the Universal title match would be first?
But I will say it was a really good idea, starting off with the Rollins eventual win. Really, it's a good opener, get the crowd right into things.
Well, they needed it after a 2-hour pre-show.
Yeah. So we get things going as Rollins makes his entrance. Brock attacks Rollins on the outside of the ring. He throws him all around, throws him to the barricade, F5s him on the floor, throws him over the announce table twice, and I think he even threw him through the announce table cover that was propped up against the ring.
Yeah, I think that's where he got his cut on the back.
Yeah, and Rollins, even before the cut, had welts on his back.
Oh, yeah, they look horrible.
And so Brock just threw him around until we eventually get the match started. And it starts off with just some simple suplex city. Suplex repeats until Rollins eventually pushes Brock into the ref. And the ref takes a bump. And the sneaky, conniving heel Rollins is, deep down inside, he hits Brock in the dick.
Yes. Which we all knew was going to happen.
He hits him in the unprotected penis. And by that, I do not mean that he wasn't wearing a condom. I mean that he was not wearing a cup. So, that's Brock's fault. He needs to learn to wear a cup.
Well, especially in the wrestling ring. I mean, once it gets out there that, hey, that's how you beat them, that's what's going to happen.
It's his one weakness.
It is.
If he wore a cup, he would never lose. And Rollins hits, I think, 3 curb stomps after that and gets the pin, and the ref gets back in the ring. He counts the 3. Rollins wins in a 2.5-minute match, and crowd goes nuts. Good starts.
But let's face it, they only went nuts because the title is finally going to be back on TV every week.
Well, I think it's partly Rollins doing too.
Well, yeah.
I mean, Rollins has done a pretty good job, I would say. I mean, I think he kind of went cold for a bit, but he's still up there among the top baby faces there are right now.
Well, I think the only reason he went cold is because he couldn't really do a promo on Brock because he's never there. So,
yeah, that's part of it.
I mean, he's just talking to the camera and that's it.
Yeah, and Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. There was the Shield stuff too before then. But hey, we got to where we ultimately needed to be for this one.
Yes. And
this was likely a last-minute decision to have this go on first, because the WrestleVotes Twitter account, which we've noted has broken plenty of stories, they've They called pretty much the whole Hall of Fame class before it happened. They tweeted an hour before the main show started, so during the pre-show, that the last run sheets that had been seen had Randy and AJ starting the main show, which would have been good for you because you predicted that.
And that would have been the 1 point I needed to win.
Yep. We ended in a damn tie.
Between all the matches plus 5 bonus questions,
yes.
We tied.
And we'll get into the wackiness of that main event that really made the predictions. There were so many different things that could have happened or should have happened that would have changed our predictions in that main event.
Yeah.
Yeah, so after the Brock and Rollins match, we get AJ and Randy. And at this point, a large portion of the crowd could not see.
Yeah.
Because they were being blinded by the lights.
Yeah, I don't know if they forgot to turn them off or if they are normally left on.
It seems like this happens quite often in these big shows. I'm not sure why exactly, but for a good 75% of this match, we were hearing, "We can't see, turn the lights off," and all sorts of other stuff. And it did lead to the hilarious moment where they finally did turn the lights off, and it got the biggest pop of the night.
Yeah.
Only a second later, they turned them right back on.
And then the biggest boo of the night.
Yeah, the heel turn. And then...
I think Orton was just confused in the ring.
Yeah. And Orton was pretty pissed off about it. As I read you the Instagram post he had a while ago that he was upset with WWE because 95% of his match was being drowned by "we can't see," which has to suck as a performer.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just got to kill your mojo. It's like, really?
Yeah.
I mean, that killed the morale.
And this was the only match that was a problem for.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Unless, maybe somebody just took a coffee break and forgot to turn the lights off.
Well, I think it was because that was when it started to get dark outside.
Yeah, and it was.
And so they probably just were able to, the lights just reflected differently onto those people.
Yeah,
because
it wasn't as bright.
Yeah. So, this match was fine. We were on the floor, by the way, so we weren't affected by the lights.
I was. Just that one light. I had that one yellow light from the Titantron shining right in my eye.
Okay.
Other than that, though, that was it.
Yeah, but you could still see the match all right.
Yeah. I mean, it was blinding, but I could see.
Yeah. So, yeah, this match was fine. I didn't think it was anything crazy. The match was really just built around RKO spots.
Yeah.
And especially towards the end, we had the tease of the phenomenal forearm into the RKO where AJ jumps up, but he does the pump fake, jumps right back down, and Orton goes for the RKO, and he ends up falling straight on his back. AJ hit the 450 from there for a near fall, and then AJ would later go for a forearm again, but this time Randy catches him on the ropes in the RKO position, and that's when AJ is able to fight him off, and that spot it's actually a good callback spot, because if you remember in the Elimination Chamber, that was how Randy Orton eliminated AJ, was he got him while he was on the ropes for the RKO.
Yeah.
And so this time AJ was able to fight him off. He does hit the phenomenal forearm, and he gets the victory.
I was okay with that match. It wasn't horrible. It was good to watch. Just a typical match, I think.
Yeah. As far as AJ Styles matches goes, I was more anticipating this match than it probably warranted. I thought it could have went longer, but it was a fine match. But there is an interesting discussion I do want to bring up. Is just that if you hear it all the time that, especially on certain commentators, I think, call AJ Styles this generation Shawn Michaels and all that.
Yeah.
And the debate sort of now is that AJ has yet to really have a blow-away, standout WrestleMania performance. And if you go through them, he started with Jericho, which was a fine match. Then you had Shane McMahon, which I think exceeded everyone's expectations, but it's a Shane McMahon match at the end of the day. Then last year you had the Nakamura match, which I thought was very underwhelming and disappointing. And then this match, which was good, but not great.
Yeah.
So
He hasn't had a big John Cena or Shawn Michaels WrestleMania moment.
yeah, I think that's a big thing about it, too, is that he's never really been in that position to really give that sort of performance yet.
And honestly, I mean, he's only been around a few years in WWE.
This was his fourth Mania.
Fourth, yeah. So 4 years, that doesn't mean you're going to get a John Cena moment or a Shawn Michaels moment that quick.
Yeah.
I mean, in my opinion, I don't care if you're from the Indies or not, you got to put the work in at WWE to get what you want. Just my opinion.
Well, I think what people are discussing is, like, AJ as a performer. And I don't think it's really fair to criticize that when, I mean, he's been in good positions, but he's not really had the chance to really blow anything out of the water with a WrestleMania performance. I mean, the Nakamura match maybe he could have, but
that one you think they would have. I mean,
I don't know if it was the placement on that card, and it was a well-worked match, but it was really where a lot of people were dying down already.
yeah. I mean, they can't expect people to, care that much if it's hour 6 of a 7-hour show.
Yeah, so we'll see going forward if AJ is in a different position next year. Who knows?
Maybe he'll be in Hogan's position next year, and he'll just walk out on stage, cut a promo, and leave.
I hope not. We had the Usos tag team title match against Ricochet and Aleister Black, The Bar, and Rusev and Nakamura. This was a disappointing match for no other reason than to see Rusev, who was over as hell however many months ago, and even Nakamura, who this time last year was the Royal Rumble winner and heading into the match with AJ.
But Nakamura lost his mojo when he turned heel. That's when they just don't have anything for him.
He started off with some initial momentum in that AJ feud after coming out of Mania, but he never won the title, and after that, it was just kind of like, what do you do with him now? He's tried 3 different times, or 4 different times, or 5 different times to win the title from AJ, and he's failed every time. And then they eventually gave him the United States title, which they didn't do anything with.
No.
So these
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Same thing happened to R-Truth.
Just cold. There was nothing for him to do.
Yeah.
So it was a sad match for no other reason than that. For no other reason than me trying to get Rusev Day chant started and no one caring.
I mean, I really wish we could have I wish you could have gotten one going, but no one just wanted to go with it.
No, it was just like, there's no reason to care anymore.
He's too cold, exactly. There's no reason to care.
So, didn't have a bunch on this match. The spot of the match, and one of the best spots of the night, came in this match, though, with Cesaro getting the swing on Ricochet. And so he has the swing in on Ricochet, and every time someone would try to run in, Sheamus would grab them and give them the 10 beats to the chest that he does.
He did that to all 5 of them.
Yeah, every single person that tried to came in.
I mean,
And all the while that is happening, Cesaro is swinging Ricochet for however long it may have been.
Non-stop, too. It's not like he put him down and started again.
Yeah.
You know he had to be busy.
Yeah, I'm sure both of them were.
Dude, National Security Agency.
Yeah.
Let's go say hi.
Yeah, so that was fun. Eventually, Cesaro did put him down. Although I'm not sure. Ricochet still may be swinging there.
At least in his head.
Yeah. And so the finish eventually comes with the Usos winning with a double splash on, I think, Sheamus.
I believe it was Sheamus.
We're not entirely sure. I think it was Sheamus. We'll say it was Sheamus.
We have slept since then.
Yeah, it was a long day.
Yeah.
And after that, we got the Shane McMahon and Miz match, the McMiz special. They had their Falls Count Anywhere match.
With Mr. Miz.
And early on in the match, Shane is about to jump from the turnbuckle to the announce table when out from the crowd comes Mr. Miz. And he stands in the path of Shane to jump off into Miz.
I really thought Shane was going to jump anyway.
Yeah, I would have thought that Shane might have just, jumped over him.
Because if you think about it, that would have been the only jump he did.
Yeah, I mean, the suplex at the end, which it wasn't a jump. But
yeah, we didn't get that crazy jump like we really thought we would.
Yeah, so eventually Miz Dad comes into the ring, and hilariously, he squares up, quote-unquote, to Shane McMahon. And his pose is so laughably bad that Shane himself is trying to help him.
Yeah.
He's like, your arms they're too far apart. You got to get them up here, and he's trying to help him and move his fists in the right spot. And then eventually, Shane just beats the hell out of Miz Dad. He kicks him around in the corner, and for someone as old as Mrs. Dad is, and for him to not be a worker, the last person I want to be taking strikes from is Shane McMahon.
True.
I would bet he's still feeling those.
Yeah, I mean, those kicks, just some of them look like they hit a little too hard.
Yeah. On an old man.
On somebody that's a non-performer.
Yeah. So, after this, Miz runs into the ring, he tackles Shane, he throws him over the barricade, and he gets help for his dad. And after that, for probably 10 straight minutes, Miz just kicked Shane's ass from pillar to post.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Because they were on the post, weren't they?
Yeah. Just all over the arena. Just throwing him around, punching him, all this. And they eventually get to the camera stand thing.
Yeah, the hard cam.
Yeah, so Shane decides to climb up this, and Miz eventually climbs up with him. Shane begs for forgiveness, begs Miz off, but Miz suplexes Shane off of the camera stand onto the crash pad, and this was the great spots, and the crowd is chanting holy S-word.
Yes.
In all the midst of this, nobody realized that Shane just so happened to be slightly on top of the Miz.
Yep.
And so in comes the ref, he counts the 3, and Shane gets the win.
I mean, you would have thought Miz would win on that, but just the way they landed, Shane was on top.
Yeah, that was how they portrayed this match. Shane just happened to fluke into a win after Miz had kicked his ass for 10 straight minutes.
Now, I have to say, I walked by that crash pad afterwards.
Yeah.
And it's not just padding, it's wood.
Yeah.
There's actual wood under there, so it's not like it's just a breakaway fall.
Right.
There's a little piece of wood under there that has to hurt a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, it was a pretty big pad, though.
Oh, yeah. Still,
It's pretty massive.
You gotta feel it.
Yeah, I'm sure. But, I mean, it's what you got to do. I mean, I don't want them suplexing each other onto the concrete floor.
No, but they did sell the ending very nice, both of them.
Yeah, and they were both out for an extended period of time.
Well, they were out until the next match started.
Yeah. So This assumingly means, though, that we are going to get another Shane and Miz match, which I don't really care for. But
maybe we'll get a Miz and Mr. Miz versus Shane.
Shane and Vince.
Yeah, just Shane. Shane's the best in the world. He should be able to take on Miz and his dad.
That's true. Yeah, so I don't really care to see that extended. I would have rather just Miz won, but that's just personal preference.
Yeah, we don't need another Shane McMahon match this year.
It was a fun match though. Miz had some good babyface fire, and the crowd was into him as a face.
Yeah.
And so I would say that overall this match succeeded in what it was intended to do.
Yeah, I'd say it did what it was intended to do.
Yeah.
I don't know if it exceeded it. Maybe
Did I say exceeded?
I thought you did.
I thought I said succeeded.
Oh, like you said, exceeded.
No, it didn't exceed. It just succeed.
Then yeah.
After this, we had Sasha and Bayley defending the tag titles against Natalya and Beth Phoenix, Nia Jax and Tamina, and Billie Kay and Peyton Royce of the Iconics. And so it was at this point that Chris and everyone else in the stadium decided to go to the concession stand.
Everybody and their blind mama was there. I swear to God.
So clearly you picked the wrong match to go.
Well, yeah, I should have known a women's match everyone's going to get up.
Yeah. Particularly that one.
Yeah.
And then you came back, and you came back with nothing in hand.
Yep.
Because
the stadium sucks.
You wanted a bottle of water.
I wanted one bottle of water, and I was going to get you one because I didn't have Gatorade out there. So I was going to get you one, but I wanted a bottle of water. And she brings it to me, and she takes the cap off and throws it away. I'm sorry, I'm paying $5 for a fucking bottle of water. I want the cap so I don't spill it.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I told her. She gave me some Spanish that I don't know what she said. I leaned in. I'm like, what? And she goes, no cap. So I said, well, fuck you. Keep your water. I don't need it. And I walked back. I did need it, though.
No, you said you got an explanation, though, that...
So, some of the people in lines waiting to get their waters that they never got said that they'd keep the caps so we can't throw them at the wrestlers.
Yes.
Well, if that's the case, nobody should get a cap, including the announcers. Including Michael Cole, which I saw at, walking around with his bottle of water with a lid.
Well, that's a different precedent.
But it's not posted anywhere that they take the caps.
Yeah.
And if you're going to make it a rule where you have to keep the caps, then it needs to be posted.
My overwhelming point of this is that why is it a bottle cap in particular that we're preventing being thrown? Like,
I mean,
there's plenty of other stuff I can throw.
Well, they had cans of beer. You could throw the whole can or just the pop tap.
And plus, how many people from where they're sitting are going to be able to throw a cap into the ring?
I mean, yeah, really. And besides, this is not WCW. We do not throw stuff in the ring. I don't remember the last time WWE had that happen.
Yeah. There are plenty of other things to be thrown into the ring than bottle caps.
you could pick up a kid and throw them in there.
Yeah,
there's so much other stuff that can be thrown that would cause damage, not a plastic bottle cap.
Yeah, so...
Like, what am I going to do? Give them a plastic cut? Come on.
This, unfortunately, put a bit of a damp on Chris.
It did, because I missed the entire match and then the start of the next one.
Yeah, and I know you were disappointed because you didn't get to see the Iconics win.
I'm disappointed because I didn't get to see Beth. Because I was rooting for Beth. I like Beth, always have. And I didn't get to see her at all.
Yeah. And so, essentially, Beth did win the match because the finish was that Beth got Bayley on the top rope into the Glam Slam, but as she is hooking Bayley, Billie Kay from the ground climbs up to the apron and tags herself in for on Beth.
Tags her butt, from what I read.
Yes, that's true. And she gets the tag. Beth does the glam slam. Billie Kay comes in. She throws Beth out of the ring, and she pins Bayley. And thus, the Iconics are your new tag team champions.
Now, I wish I had a video recorder with me when I was out in line waiting for my water that I never got when this happened. Because everybody back there heard the Iconics won, and they were going ballistic. They were just going off. And I wish I had it recorded because that would have been awesome to play on air.
Were they upset or just surprised?
Both. Some were surprised because, they're not into it like that. They were just surprised they won. Others were disappointed. Like me, I wanted Beth to win. She was in retirement. Came back just to win the titles. Now we'll never see her again.
Yeah.
So I was disappointed in that fact. I think others were for different reasons.
Yeah, I think it's disappointing that this was the reign that Sasha and Bayley got as the first ever tag team champions.
Well, that doesn't really bother me. I'm surprised they defended them once because we know Sasha's track record of defending titles.
Yeah, but it feels like now they'll probably just go back to nothing if they can't have the tag team titles.
Well, they might keep them teamed up, but at the same time, you've got so many women tag teams on both brands.
Yeah, it'll
and only
be
one
easy
set
to
of
get
titles.
lost.
Yeah, you're gonna get lost.
And so I've obviously been a fan of the Iconics.
Yeah, we know.
And I thought it was cool that they won, but it was again something that I felt could have been built to instead of just happening out of nowhere. The same way I felt about the Hawkins and Ryder win was kind of what I felt about this one.
Okay.
That the Iconics could have strung together some wins. They could have had more story going into this match. But
well, they did actually beat the tag champion.
Yeah, they beat Sasha and Bayley on the one SmackDown. And
but that's the only chance they've had.
Yeah.
I don't know why they would put the titles on them. It's not like they're a fan favorite. You don't have people cheering for them that much like others.
Well, I think they're a good act, and they get
heat.
They get heats, and they do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, but to me, they're like the Titus O'Neil of the women. They're the goofballs.
I guess
not like New Day goofball, but they just do goofy stuff.
Yeah, a lot of their stuff is
like their poses,
sort of ironic humor.
Yeah, to each his own. I don't know. I didn't care for them winning.
Yeah, I don't know. I like them because I feel like their act is relatable to people that annoy you in real life, like the preppy high school girls. I just feel like it's relatable in that sense.
I thought they were the preppy high school girls.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
That's why it's relatable.
Good.
That's why they're so easy to hate. And so it's why I like them.
Well, I think part of it has to do with Billie Kay's voice. It's just so high-pitched.
Yeah.
And that just makes my ears bleed.
I don't even feel like that's her normal voice either.
I don't think it would. Well, actually, it is. And if you watch Up, Up, Down, Down, where they go bowling, you'll hear it.
Okay.
And it gets loud.
Okay. So after this, we got the Daniel Bryan and Kofi Kingston WWE Championship match.
Which, to me, should have been the main event.
Yeah.
Not just after watching the match, but even before the match, I thought it should be the main event.
We both agreed on that. But for understandable reasons, they went with the women's triple threat, which was fine.
Yeah.
It was fine to end with that.
Yeah.
It was... And, like, the business side of it, I know why they wanted to do it.
No, I get that.
And so this was where most people, including you, found their way back to their seats.
Yeah, halfway through the match.
In the early part of this match. Missed the video package and all that. in the entrance.
I don't think I need to see the video package considering I've seen everything that's happened.
Yes.
So I think I'm safe on that part.
And so there was a lot of good stuff in this match. They really built the pacing of this match really well. And
they did.
They saved all the good stuff until the end, where they did all sorts of near falls, with Bryan hitting the running knee, which I felt like got the crowd really good, that they at least for a second thought that might have been it.
I did. For a quick second, I thought that was going to be it.
Yeah, and so Kofi eventually, I believe he hit the Trouble in Paradise and gets the pin.
Yep.
And the crowd erupts.
Oh, man. It's a good thing that stadium didn't have a roof.
Yeah.
Because I think we all would have blown it off.
Yeah, and the crowd was firmly behind Kofi throughout the whole match, and the finishing sequence just sent the crowd into a great state. A great, loud state.
Yeah, it was.
And Big E and Xavier eventually unveiled to Kofi the returning WWE Championship.
Thank God.
He did not have to celebrate with that hemp belt.
I think they should have burnt the hemp belt.
That would have been fun.
Just put it in a metal
I don't even
garbage.
know what they actually did with it.
I don't even know. I just know they moved it aside.
Yeah.
I mean, last time I saw Xavier had it when they were, I think it was Xavier that had it when they were uncovering the new one.
Yeah, and
or
so
old one.
They present the correct title to him, and they get Kofi's kids into the ring.
Were all those his kids? I wasn't sure.
Well, there were only two.
Yeah, I know, but
then they were both his kids.
Okay, I knew the one he was carrying was his.
Yeah, they were both his.
Okay, that's cool though.
And
nice little family moment.
They get to celebrate an emotional moment, and New Day pull out a gift box, and it has the new T-shirts with the WWE Championship design on Kofi,
which you could not get at the WWE store at the stadium.
Well, how could you?
But
you don't want to unveil that.
Well, why not? It happened online.
Yeah. Well, that's a whole different issue, and many people watching that may have happened to scroll into Twitter or whatever while they're watching would see that WWE accidentally posted the new shirt design before this match happened. So basically spoiling that Kofi would win.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many people actually saw that from the shop and how many people saw it because everyone was posting it on Twitter.
But, I mean, they did announce the special sale for the shop, WWE shop, that, if you buy a T-shirt, you get one for
that's
$1.
true. Yeah, so
that might draw a lot of people.
But it wasn't like it was on the way it was described. What I think it was like if you just went into the merch and you went under New Day or whatever, you wouldn't have seen it. But if you searched for Kofi Kingston or something in particular, then it would show up.
Okay.
So it was sort of hidden, but still there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this was the highlight of the night for me, and I'm sure most people there.
Yeah, I'd have to agree.
And
I mean, they can, from our previous shows, everybody knows how I felt about it. How Kofi should win.
Yeah. And I do want to just mention, I'm not sure how much I've actually talked about this, but I'm sure that this reign is not going to be anything magnificent. I don't feel like it'll last long.
Just from what rumors, and it's just rumors, that he'll hold it till SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And because, it's SmackDown going into Fox in October, they feel somebody else might be a better face of the company going into Fox.
Yes.
I'm not going to say who. I don't want to spoil it in case it comes true.
We'll see. I mean, there's no telling.
But, I mean, I expect him to hold it till SummerSlam.
Yeah, probably around there.
I mean, that's only a few months away.
Yeah, and I would like to say that hopefully Kofi stays around that same territory, but I do think that we'll fall back into just tag team stuff.
And I'd be okay with that. Just because, like I say, he won. But I think he should have the opportunity to go after the title again, or even another singles title.
Yeah.
They shouldn't keep tag teams strictly tag teams.
Yeah.
They should give them an opportunity, if they want, for a singles title.
Yeah, I agree.
Not going to hurt anything.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that going forward. We had the Samoa Joe versus Rey Mysterio United States title match. This match did take place. There was fear throughout the week that Rey would not be able to do this match.
Yeah.
And we got into the match. Rey flew around for 45 seconds until eventually Joe caught him in the coquina clutch, put him to sleep, and wins the match in under a minute.
I mean, he was favoring the ankle that I saw.
Yeah, I think you could tell that he was very uncomfortable.
I think it was like, okay, are you good enough to go for a minute? And he said, yeah.
Yeah, or maybe it would have been the other way around. Like, I can't do much, but I can do this.
Yeah.
So let's at least do this.
So when they planned it out, they had it perfect.
Yeah.
And it worked for it.
Yeah, and there's more positives than it seems to this, because Joe needed this sort of win.
Oh, God, yes.
And I felt like this match, from an outside perspective, not knowing going in, like Rey's hurts and all that, this made Joe look so dominant. And after weeks of being rolled up by the likes of Kurt Angle and Kofi Kingston, and like
roll-ups,
in consecutive weeks, he needed something to make him look like a dominant champion.
Yeah. I mean, otherwise, what's the point of having a belt? If you're going to look like a sissy.
After this, we got the Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre match. I don't remember almost anything from this match. And
it didn't go very long. I mean, a decent amount.
It went a bit. It probably went 10 minutes.
10, 15 minutes at most.
But there was nothing to take home from it.
Yeah, in fact, CBS Sports gave it like a C-.
Yeah,
which
I think that's generous.
I do too, because there was nothing to it.
And this was basically anything you expected this match to be. I had low expectations, and I felt like they still weren't met.
You had expectations.
Yeah.
I just didn't set none for this one.
Yeah. So, Roman just puts Drew away with a Superman punch and a spear.
No.
Yeah. Get out of here. No way. It just really, I think it proves my point that they built Drew up to lose to Roman. They fed him to him,
but
and they have no further plans for him.
Yeah, what else is there for him to do? Where can you see McIntyre going from here?
Well, I think he should be in the mix for a Universal title match.
Which could be possible.
Not after this.
You never know.
And
we do have a new unit.
I think it would have been nice for as Kirby gets cut off.
Yeah.
No, I'm proud that you didn't. I'm proud that you didn't yell.
Hey, me too. That's a first.
I felt like Drew winning this match would have done more for him than it possibly could have for Roman, because
it wouldn't have hurt Roman to put Drew over.
No.
Roman's going to have a pop no matter what ever since he's been back.
And in a show that we saw predominantly babyface moments and wins, and the pleasing the crowd and all that, it just felt like this one was more forced. That the story of Roman coming back from leukemia and getting to this point, it's a good story, but I feel like you could really endear Roman more by having him lose. I don't feel like you can truly build like a sympathetic character or a relatable character without having them lose.
No.
So next we had the highly anticipated Elias headline musical performance.
Yes. Which I'll admit was actually kind of funny.
Yeah, and so hilariously, he had 2 different pre-taped Eliases on the Tron, playing with the live version of Elias, and they all played one whole thing together.
Would that be a flock of Elias?
Yeah. What other kinds of things are there? There's a flock, a pack.
A pack, a murder.
Whatever you want to call it.
It's a murder of Elias.
Yeah. So, and neither of us got this prediction right.
No.
No Undertaker, no Hulk Hogan. Instead, the Doctor of Thuganomics.
Yes.
John Cena.
The return of the Doctor of Thuganomics.
Yeah, this was awesome.
Yeah, he laid down some bars.
We'll say first that for whatever reason they played on the Tron the Babe Ruth thing. They played the famous Babe Ruth thing where he
calls his
shots, points to the fence, and hits the home run right after that. What this had to do with this, I'm not entirely sure. It was New York. But
it was New Jersey.
But it's promoted as New York.
I know, but they promote it wrong.
It does. Well, just let me finish. Cena came out in the Yankees gear, and I know that at least at various different points that Cena has been referred to as the Babe Ruth of WWE.
Yes.
So I guess maybe that's why. I'm not entirely sure. And Cena comes out. He does some diss raps to Elias.
Some good ones, too.
Some good stuff.
Not really PG rated.
And, the typical John Cena line saying that Elias, I think the line was that he wanted to come out for a duet, but clearly Elias just likes playing with himself.
Yeah.
He told he said, "We're about to witness a John Cena heel turn." He told Elias his face looks like my nuts. Not my nuts, Cena's nuts. Except Elias has a bigger bush.
Yeah.
Then tells us we're not going to see an AA. Instead, we're going to see an FU.
Yes.
And Elias comes at Cena. Cena gets a punch in or a clothesline or whatever. And he hits the AA/FU. And that was it.
Well, no, he did the 5 knuckle.
No, yeah, that's right. He did do the 5 knuckle
because he pumped up his shoes again.
Yes, he pumped the shoes.
I used to love that when he pumped his shoes up.
Yeah.
I used to have them shoes when I was a kid.
This was a fun segment. I'm glad that we were there for that.
Yes, I would have been disappointed not to see that live.
Yeah.
I just wish I had more room on my phone to record it.
So after this, we had Triple H and Batista in their no-holds-barred match. This was a really cool street fight-esque match.
That's really all it was.
And Triple H gets all sorts of tools out early. He used something to ply Batista's fingers back.
Like a pipe wrench or something.
Yeah, and later he had pliers, and he plied the nose ring out of Batista's nose.
Yes.
And there was no blood that came from this, and I was thinking at the time that Batista was going to gig his nose up, and that was why he was covering his face for so long. But didn't happen. And so no blood coming from there.
Which, I'm sorry, you're not going to rip a nose ring out and not have blood.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I would think that Batista wanted to do that. I'm not sure if it was he wasn't allowed to or what else may have happened.
That could be with movies that he's doing. He may not have been allowed to. But I like how they did it.
It might have been a WWE directive not to do it.
I still like how they did it. He probably just took the gearing back off so he could just pry it out and play it. But it was cool.
Yeah, it was a good spot. It was sort of like the Randy Orton thing where he put the his finger in Jeff Hardy's earlobe.
Yeah.
That sort
But that
of
was
thing.
just gross.
Yeah. After we got through all of this hardcore-esque stuff, we eventually got into some near falls. There was, before that, Triple H speared Batista through the announce table. There was some stuff later where Batista, I think he hit a spine buster onto the steps, and then it did a Batista bomb out of that for a near fall. And Triple H hit a pedigree, but Batista kicked out. And then as Batista is trying to close the deal, out comes Ric Flair, who was who Batista originally attacked to get this whole thing going.
Yeah.
And so Ric Flair comes out, he briefly distracts Batista. Triple H comes in with a flying sledgehammer shot.
Wasn't there a low blow?
Was there a low blow? I thought he just came in with the sledgehammer off the steps.
Well, that's what I thought, but when I read a review, CBS, it said something about a low blow. I didn't see it.
I don't remember. But either way, after that, he hit the pedigree, gets the win. Triple H, thank God his in-ring career will continue. I know we were worried about that.
Were we?
Yeah, we were very concerned that we might not ever see Triple H wrestle again.
Oh, okay. I must have not been there for that week.
Yeah. This, whether this was Batista's last match or not, he's said that he is retired now, but who knows what the future may hold, if he'll come back for another thing. Maybe he won't. If not, it was good to see old Davey Boy back again.
Yeah, it was.
After this, we had the Baron Corbin and Kurt Angle match. For what it was, I honestly had fun with this match. And I think my takeaway from it was more understanding, and I actually was able to get behind what WWE was trying to accomplish with this match. It might not have been what I preferred, but I think it wasn't an entirely terrible decision to have Corbin in this match.
No, I mean, I didn't like it. I just don't feel that's who his last opponent should have been.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have rather seen a lot of other people than Corbin.
Yeah. So, to get into the bulk of this match, it was largely Angle throwing around Corbin with suplexes, and eventually he has Baron Corbin down. And he's in the corner, and Kurt Angle climbs the turnbuckle. And at this point, I am absolutely freaking out.
Yes, you are.
I was convinced we were going to see someone die on live television.
Yeah.
Live and in person, even. That we would go to the one show where someone dies in the ring.
Yeah.
And Kurtz, he climbs up the turnbuckle. He goes for the moonsaults. He gets the full rotation on it. Lands just as he's supposed to. And in typical Kurt Angle fashion, he missed. And so that led to Corbin getting up Kurtz, hitting him with the end of days, and getting the 1, 2, 3.
But you forgot to go Corbin did the you can't see me.
Yeah, he did do the Cena you can't see me, which I thought was a good troll.
I thought it was, just because everybody thought Cena was going to come out.
Yeah, I think Corbin probably went into that match thinking that everyone was going to be chanting for Cena.
Nobody did.
Which they didn't really do. It probably would have been better if they did, but it was still funny.
Yeah.
And so this got mega heat for Corbin, and really this was a good moment for Corbin to have that sort of match at WrestleMania. And it depends on what they do with him going forward. If this was a starting point for Baron Corbin to continue to ascend and be able to do more good stuff as a heel, and this is something that helps get him more heat, then I can't complain. Because ultimately, what the what the regular rules and regulations that wrestlers want to follow is that on your way out, you lose to someone who is an up-and-comer and can be able to take that win and get the rub from it and get more success because of it.
I don't think Corbin needed to get pushed. I mean, he's already a top guy in a way.
Yeah, that's my issue with it, is that I don't know how much farther he'll go with it.
I mean, there's not much he can go. I mean, he's already been involved in the main title picture before.
Yeah, it just depends on...
He's not an up-and-comer, I guess.
And I didn't think that the Kurt Angle rub, quote-unquote, really meant all that much at this point.
No.
And I think this... I would have rather had this match as just a classic sort of revisit and have two older guys in it, like him and Cena. And instead of that, with Batista coming back, I feel like he was more of the one that could have worked with a younger guy and had more success that way. And in this case, I didn't feel that way. But I can't say that what they intended for this match to be was a failure, because I think it worked. And whether Kurt won or lost or whatever, it was all the same. He was going to ride off after this.
Yeah.
And even after this match, he still got on the mic. He thanked everyone. He said how great of a time he's had the last 20 years being able to perform. And he ends with saying that he wants to just hear the two words that epitomize his career, and they play his music. We get the "You Suck" chants. And before that, there was the "Thank You, Kurt" stuff. And
but as they were playing that music for him while he was leaving, I really thought people were going to start chanting "Thank you" instead of "You Suck."
Yeah,
just because we gave him the "You Suck." But I think we should have given him more of a "Thank you" to go out on.
Yeah, but they
"Thank
did.
you, you suck" or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to change that.
Yeah.
It's what everyone's accustomed to.
Yeah, I know. Heaven forbid something change what you're used to.
Well, it's just like, there's some sort of description of it as we got a cop rolling by. But it's just like natural reaction, I guess.
It is, because it's been going on for so long.
Yeah. And they got the "Thank You, Kurt" stuff before that.
Oh, yeah, we did.
And all that was cool, and this was a good final match for Kurt, because he was somehow able to do more stuff than he was in the weeks coming, because that moonsault's coming from someone who just 2 weeks ago could not get off of his feet for a suplex.
Yeah.
That was stunning to me.
He must have ate his Wheaties.
Yeah, so it's good though that Kurt is going to be able to step away now and still in one piece.
Is he going to be in a role behind the scenes, or is he done with WWE?
I have no idea.
I haven't heard anything.
I guess we'll see. I don't need to see him as GM again.
No, we don't. Well, we don't have GMs. He
would be a great backstage producer, agents, whatever else.
I wouldn't mind seeing him as a valet manager sort of type. If he wanted to be on camera, or WWE wanted him on camera.
Maybe.
But I don't see
I don't think he needs to do that, though. That's just me. We had the Finn Balor versus Bobby Lashley match following this. This was the second to last match on the show.
Thank you.
And we had Demon Balor come out. We got to see that entrance live.
Wasn't much of an entrance that we could see. That's the problem.
Yeah, that was largely the problem with the floor seats. Is that it's hard to see everything.
And if you go to Mania, don't sit on the floor. It's not worth it unless you're front row.
Yeah. So this match goes about 4 minutes. Eventually, Balor hits the coup de grace, gets the win. It reclaims the Intercontinental Championship.
I did like how he had all the makeup on his back this time, which is different than what he usually has.
Okay.
Because he wasn't just full black demon. It was like he had blue and yellow and white.
And there was some different
looked like a little unicorn painted on his back or something.
And we finally get to the main events. It is the triple threats for both of the women's titles, the winner take all, and Greg Hamilton actually fucked this up because, well, first, before that, we get a video of Charlotte entering MetLife on a helicopter.
Which if you looked up right above us, there was a helicopter. There was a helicopter in the same position as on the Titantron.
Yeah,
but it couldn't have been her.
No. And so she lands in the parking lot or wherever and walks in. And she must have walked really fast to be able to make her entrance on time.
Well, yeah, because she was, what, second one in?
Yeah. First, Ronda Rousey came out. Joan Jett played her to the ring.
That's kind of weird that they had Ronda Rousey come out first. Though.
Yeah, as the champion.
Yeah.
So, Joan Jett played her to the ring. That was cool to see live.
Yeah, it was.
And, second, Charlotte Flair comes out, and she had the cool helicopter gimmick. And Becky comes out, and she just gets a regular entrance.
Yeah.
This was disappointing to me. I felt like they could have done more. Anything.
Everybody, I mean, the other two got some kind of...
Yeah, the other two got some sort of elaborate entrance, whether it be being a live performance or a damn helicopter.
Yeah.
But we couldn't even get some Johnny Cash. That was the only thing I wanted from this WrestleMania. There was no Johnny Cash.
Nope.
Nonetheless, everyone was going wild for Becky during that whole entrance and in the end of the match when she ended up winning.
Oh, God, that that was about as big as a pop as Kofi got.
Yeah, probably close. So this match was a lot of physicality, a lot of Ronda being double teamed by Charlotte and Becky, having to work together.
Which is, I mean, you just wouldn't think they'd work together.
Yeah, it was more like they had no choice.
Yeah.
It was Charlotte and Becky trading arm bars, Ronda putting both Charlotte and Becky in an arm bar.
Well, you mean over the top rope?
No, the one they did where they did the double powerbomb stuff out of it.
Yeah.
We had table spots, and eventually it comes down to Ronda having Becky on her shoulders for the Piper's Pit, the Samoan drop thingy, as I more commonly call it. And Becky slides out. She rolls Ronda up. Ronda kicks out, but the ref continues to count, and the ref counts 3, and that was it. Becky wins the match, and we get the celebration, we get the feel-good moments, but as we would learn later, this apparently was not the intended finish. Becky was instead supposed to tap out Charlotte, which is another thing that threw our predictions all over the place, because you somehow got the 2 roll-ups that you predicted.
Of course I did.
And the final match of WrestleMania ended in a roll-up, which at the time I really didn't like that, but being that it was an accident, I can't harp on it a ton. I don't know who you really blame for it. I would say it's at least partially the referee's fault for not being in position to see that Ronda kicked out. And if they're truly calling it like a shoot, then he would have seen Ronda's shoulders go off of the mat.
Were both shoulders off the mat?
I'm pretty sure she was completely off the mat.
I knew the one away from the ref was. I didn't know if both of them were.
Yeah. Instead, he just continued to count, and Becky didn't let go either, so maybe there's some sort of thing there. But
maybe they figured, you know what, it's been like 12 and a half hours, let's let these people go home.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Yeah, I know.
But either way, I mean, I would have preferred that Becky tapped out Ronda, but if the plan was to tap out Charlotte, then do that or whatever. Unfortunately, this didn't get a very good decisive ending, which I think would have been much more preferable, but accidents happen.
Decisive enough for me.
Yeah. So, on the topic of all the physicality, apparently Ronda Rousey broke her hand during this match.
Still won't see where though. I'm gonna rewatch it.
Yeah. I mean,
because from our angle, I know we missed a lot.
There's no telling. Like, a broken hand could really,
I mean, that could be
happen anywhere. It could be you get stepped on. It could be you land wrong on a bump and curl your hand up.
Yeah. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff that could happen.
Yeah. So, and Ronda apparently was pissed about this ending being botched too.
Virginia.
As we're in Virginia. Welcome to Virginia.
Thank God we're only one state away.
Yep. Getting closer. Overall, I thought the match was good. Maybe it's my own fault that I thought that it might be better. Maybe it's partially just because of how it finished. But I thought it was good. Not among the best WrestleMania main events. Not among the worst either.
No,
so,
I still would have rather had Kofi and Daniel Bryan as the main event.
Yeah, I definitely would have picked that.
I would have put this as right before.
Yeah. So, nonetheless, I mean, this was a really fun show. I'm sure live and at home, I think this was a fun show.
I mean, we'll find out what it's like at home because I know I'm going to rewatch it.
Yeah, I definitely will.
Or at least skim through it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit and watch the whole thing again.
Yeah, it was fun. They gave us what we wanted for the most parts.
Except water.
A cap.
Yeah, a cap for my water.
Yeah. But other than that, I'd say we had a good time.
Oh, I had a blast. I did. I love spending money. It just sucks when it's mine.
Yeah. So, if you ever have the chance to do the same and head to a WrestleMania, I would recommend it.
Hey, if you're in Tampa Bay next year, that's where they're going to be.
Yeah, and that will be better weather than this one.
Oh, God, yeah. And you were laughing at me because I went and bought a sweatshirt. And you were saying, it's okay, just deal with it. Yeah, what happened?
It got cold.
Exactly. And I went and I couldn't find a sweatshirt at first, so I bought a blanket. And then I found the store was still open, so I went and bought a sweatshirt. Good thing I bought that blanket.
Yeah.
So that's
I used blankets.
That's what you get for wearing shorts.
Yeah, I left my sweatpants and my jacket in the car.
And I left my jacket in the car.
Because at the time, when it was
like 70,
day, it was 70 degrees outside.
And sunny.
So I was just like, I won't need it.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
As soon as we got to nightfall.
Yeah, once that sun went down, that's all she wrote.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely if you get the chance, check one out. It's worth it. Just don't sit on the floor. I know you might want to just because you think you're going to be closer, but it's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's not.
Well, I guess this concludes our long weekend. A few more 6 hours of driving. We'll be back at home. Thank you to everyone for listening to us throughout the week. Hope you all enjoyed your WrestleMania weekend with everything that came with it. If you were there live, if you were watching at home, hope you had fun.
Yeah, I know we did.
And I guess we don't have anything else to say. So we will.
I guess we're going to come back, either Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah, Wednesday
for our
night
normal
or
show.
Thursday.
So until then, we will wrestle you later.